Have you ever wanted to get really good at something, drawing something that you found interesting or something that you maybe had never tried to draw before? Well, there's a step called deconstruction. And if you watched a YouTube video I posted on our artist website about the scientific way to improve your art really fast, this is one of those first steps that they teach you about. So in the top left corner, I have images that I'm using as a reference. I want to be looking at the real thing that I'm trying to draw. In the center of the screen, you can see what kind of a sketch is developing and how it's changing as this video goes on. I did speed it up. When I did that in real time, it took me about 24 minutes to do the entire video. So this is sped up so that you guys don't have to sit here for that long and watch it. But deconstruction, in simplest terms, is where you take what you're looking at and you break it down into the tiniest components that you can. So if I want to get really good at drawing people and portraits, I need to understand what's underneath what I see. So this step of deconstruction is where you're looking at the shapes, and in this case, the hidden shapes. I know skulls are a little bit morbid. We're getting close to Halloween. That's not why I chose it. You see them drawn a lot like this, where they have the circle and the little box jaw. And the reason people do that is because that's the base of the skull that they're going to form their face around. So where our cheekbones are and where our teeth are, how far our nose is from our eyes and our mouth, all of those details are easy to see in this view. But you'll notice that trying to get good at something and trying to draw something you've never drawn before, it's not a perfect science. I erase a lot. My lines are messy. I'm just trying to get the right idea and shape. I'll change things throughout this entire video. And as I finish one to what I like it to look like, I'll move it off to the side and start the next picture. So this process of deconstruction is not just one drawing over and over and over. You're trying to draw multiple views of the same object, which allows your brain to commit to memory all the different shapes that are hidden within that. So if you wanted to draw a person looking slightly away from you versus a person looking directly at you, this helps commit to long-term memory where those lines are when you're drawing. Again, skulls are not my favorite thing to draw. I've avoided drawing them for a long time, so I do make a lot of mistakes. I do have a lot of things that look cartoony, and that's okay. This is a practice that I needed to do because this is an area where I am not strong in. I've drawn cartoons my whole life, but I very rarely tried to draw real people. So obviously on this purple drawing, you can see I am struggling to get it to look like what I'm seeing. Now, if you were to do this, I would recommend having a bigger reference. I kept mine small so I wouldn't be distracted by all the little itty-bitty tiny details. That's a trick I learned for myself. I struggle with that. I see every line and I want to draw every line, but it's important to remember that you don't have to draw every line every time when you're practicing. So the art of deconstruction is really not as complicated as it sounds. You draw the same thing in multiple views in different ways until you find where you need to improve, and then take a break. Come back to it later. If you notice that one side of the object that you're drawing is lopsided or off-center, flip the image around and try it in reverse. Take your reference image and flip it. Take your actual drawing and flip it upside down. It works really well if you have a light table. If you're on the computer, like I am, you can go over them and trace and see, okay, is this a line I want to keep? Is this going to look like I need it to look when it's finished? Because sometimes we draw with what's called a bias. And that's where I can draw it from looking at it and drawing with my right hand, but when I flip it around, it looks completely wrong. And that happens because my brain and my hands are used to communicating in one way. So my brain sees it as, yeah, that's a great line. But when I flip it, my brain is like, oh, wait, that's not a great line. You need to go back and try again. And so this view that you're seeing now of the purple skull, that's the one I need to work on. Obviously, that's where I am weakest with these views. I got face on, I can do a side face, I can do one slightly turned towards me, but when it comes to top view, I really struggle. I hope you guys enjoyed my example on deconstruction, and have a great day.